Thanks for checking out this video. So let's go ahead and get into it. What is coming to Shudder for July of 2024? The first ones I'm going over, if people aren't familiar with these, are the Shudder exclusive and originals. Obviously, Joe Bob is in there because it's been continuing every other week. But there are two movies for July that are their exclusives. One of them I've actually already reviewed, so you can check that out immediately. But then the other one, I will have that review up the Monday of the week it comes out. And they are always now coming out on Fridays. So just know that for going now and in the future, and it's been this way, for any exclusive or original of Shudder's movie-wise, I always have the no spoiler reviews up earlier the week that they're coming out because I do get screeners. So you can come and find out if I'm into it, if I'm not into it, and if my likes line up with your likes, then maybe you want to check it out, maybe you don't. But let's get into what's coming. The first one is Arcadian, and this is the one I already have a review for up on my channel because I had rented it through Fandango at home, so you can check that review out now if you would like. It's coming July 12th. In a near future, normal life on Earth has been decimated. Paul and his two sons, Thomas and Joseph, have been living a half-life, tranquility by day and torment by night. Every night after the sun sets, they face the unrelenting attacks of a mysterious and violent evil. One day, when Thomas doesn't return home before sundown, Paul must leave the safety of their fortified farm to find him. A nightmarish battle ensues that forces the family to execute a desperate plan to survive. This one has Nicolas Cage in it, so if you're a huge Nicolas Cage fan, maybe you want to check it out. But check out my no spoiler review, and you'll know for sure. The other film that they're having in July is coming July 26th, and this one was on my list to check out anyway, so I'm excited I won't have to spend money on it. Humane by Caitlin Cronenberg. Yes, David Cronenberg's daughter. Synopsis of this one. Humane takes place over a single day, mere months after a global ecological collapse has forced world leaders to take extreme measures to reduce the Earth's population. In a wealthy enclave, a recently retired newsman has invited his 4 grown children to dinner to announce his intentions to enlist in the nation's new euthanasia program. But when the father's plan goes horribly awry, tensions flare and chaos erupt among his children. I already did some of the pre-research on this, and it has like Jay Baruchel in it, and David Cronenberg, and there was another bigger name. Actually, let me check real quick, if people don't mind. Emily Hampshire, who's from Schitt's Creek, and Peter Gallagher from House on Haunted Hill. That's just one of many things he's been in. He's been in so much. But this one looks interesting. I'm very interested, so we'll see. Obviously, Joe Bob, The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs is continuing. They will have episodes on Friday, July 5th and Friday, July 19th. And then there will be those episodes available on demand those Sundays after. So just know that. All right. Here are the films showing up on July 1st. The big one, the GOAT, in my opinion, The Shining. A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter where his sinister presence influences the father into violence, while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from both past and present. Then the next one is hashtag Chad Gets the Axe. Don't know anything about this one. 4 social media influencers live stream their trip to Devil's Manor, former home to a satanic cult. It seems to me like maybe this one's kind of like a horror comedy, and if it is, I would be interested to check it out. Then the next one, the last one coming on July 1st, is one I haven't seen before, and it's been on my list to get to for a long, long time, so now's my time. Dr. Giggles. A madman who believes he's a doctor comes to the town where his crazy father was killed and soon begins murdering people and becoming infatuated with a teenage girl who has a heart condition. Yes. So the next 5 films are coming July 8th. First one, She is Conan. Conan's life at different stages is shown with a different aesthetic and rhythm from the Sumerian era to the near future. I don't even know what that synopsis would indicate. Don't know. I know it was a film that was put out by a partner label by Vinegar Syndrome, and it did sell pretty well, so I don't know, maybe it's good. The next one is also a film that's been on my list to see for a long time, Class of Nukem High, so I guess I'm going to check it out. The pupils at a high school next to a nuclear power plant start acting and looking strange after buying contaminated drugs from a plant worker. I know it's trauma. A lot of people say it's a fun time. I want to check it out. Then you have House on Haunted Hill from 1959, which I've seen and I think is quite a good film. A millionaire offers $10,000 to five people who agree to be locked in a large, spooky rented house overnight with him and his wife. It's a good one. The next one is a very disturbing film that has been on Shudder like years ago. I even did a watch party for it, and it is a disturbing, kind of hard to watch movie at times, but it's very good. Possum. After returning to his childhood home, a disgraced children's puppeteer is forced to confront his wicked stepfather and the secrets that have tortured his entire life. It's very dark, but it's very good. And then We Are Still Here. This one is also a fun time. In the cold, wintry fields of New England, a lonely old house wakes up every 35 years and demands a sacrifice. That's a Ted Gagin film, and he's really awesome, like really cool person. I've had some interactions with him through Twitter before, and just super cool guy. This is a good movie. It has Barbara Crampton and Larry Fessenden in it, and you should check it out. Inspiration for it was actually Lucio Fulci's House by the Cemetery, per Ted Gagin. He had actually told me that over Twitter, so that was cool. Then the next 5 are coming July 15th. The Etheria Film Night 2024. Etheria is the world's most respected showcase of new horror, comedy, science fiction, fantasy, action, and thriller films made by emerging women directors. I covered the very first year that Shudder was having it on their service, and then I just haven't covered it after that because they don't send me screeners for it. So, they did that first year. Next one is Starry Eyes, which a lot of people talk about. It's pretty good. A young, hopeful starlet uncovers the ominous origins of the Hollywood elite and enters into a deadly agreement in exchange for fame and fortune. Then we have The Hole in the Fence. Students of an elite religious school attend a camp outside the city, but the tranquility is shattered when a hole is found in the perimeter fence. Excuse me. A chain of mysterious incidents reveals a system created by the tutors to push a fundamentalist view. Sounds kind of interesting. Then the next one is Rabid Grannies. This was a Vinegar Syndrome release, and they made it look really good, especially in comparison to what it used to look like. 2 sweet little old ladies fall victim to an ancient curse that transforms them into bloodthirsty killers. It's very like Evil Dead-esque in the way it's done. Evil Dead and like Dead Alive. It's kind of like a mixture of those two things. And it's fun, but the story's not great. The pacing isn't the best, but practical effects are really cool. So I do recommend seeing it like once. And I think it's less than an hour and a half long. And the last film coming on the 15th, Maniac Cop. If you haven't seen Maniac Cop, see it. It's a lot of fun. A killer dressed in a police uniform begins murdering innocent people on the streets of New York City. It's a good flick. Then the last 3 films are coming July 22nd. Sleep Tight. Caesar, a miserable man who works as an apartment concierge, takes a special interest in an attractive woman who lives there and goes to great lengths to trouble her. I mean, that synopsis doesn't get me excited, so pass probably. Then the next film is actually another one that's been on my list to see for quite some time. This was an early James Gunn helmed film that is Troma, and that's Tromeo and Juliet. Tromeo, a filmmaker, falls in love with Juliet, the daughter of a former partner who tried to steal his business from him. I've heard it's a good time. And then the last one from a local filmmaker to me when he was alive, Don Dohler, Night Beast. This was also put out by Vinegar Syndrome. Insane, sadistic hermit stalks and captures those who get lost in his part of the woods. A young woman whose car broke down is about to find out what he does with them next. Oh, that doesn't sound like the same Night Beast. It's exactly the same. Night Beast is one word, so I wonder if they put the wrong synopsis in. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a totally different film called Night Beast. I have no clue. I guess we'll find that one out. I was hoping it was like the original Night Beast. because that synopsis is not the Don Doler Night Beast. But anyway, I recommend the Don Doler Night Beast. It's so bad it's good. I quite enjoy it. I actually own it. So there you have it. Let me know if there are any of these films that you're really excited about or not excited about, or recommendations like what should I make sure I watch, what should I make sure I stay away from. Put in the comments. I always appreciate that. And if you just want to talk about horror stuff in general, we can do that. Do me a favor and hit subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That's your best way to support me with all this free content I put out. Also, you can thumbs up on all my videos, and that way it helps out with the YouTube algorithm situation. Sorry, it's been one of those days. And you can hit the notification bell button if you want to know when I'm putting up new videos. But regardless, I really do appreciate people taking their time to watch these videos. It is humbling to me that people choose to use their time that way. So thank you. And until next time, keep it brutal.